Welcome to GNT, your one-stop shop for gaming news and whatever else we want to talk about. I'm Nick.
And I'm Brandon.
Today we're going to start. There was an Xbox One update that's available. We talked about it before. It allows you to customize your dashboard, improves the community section, and then also updates the streaming with Mixer. It will center your bandwidth while streaming and upgrade the video to 1080p if possible for you. And you can also use USB webcams while streaming, which is nice. And it will also prepare 4K enhanced and other options for the Xbox One X that's coming. I just downloaded it real quick today before I came over, and I like it. I'm still kind of figuring it out.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit to get used to.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do like it is a little more streamlined than hitting like the A button twice to get back to the dashboard. You know, you can just kind of get back here quicker. And the Friends tab, it's a little weird getting used to where the Friends tab is.
Yeah.
But it's overall, I think it's neat that they're trying to improve it and taking it, in a new direction. Kind of things you kind of like to see them do. It's not like they're just saying, "Oh, that's good enough." It's like, how can we improve it, or how can we streamline it, and that I think the overall experience is more user friendly.
Yeah, I do too. And the one thing I really like is that you can pin a game to your dashboard or your home, and then it gives you like almost like a whole screen for it. Like I did Friday the 13th, and then I scroll down at Friday the 13th. I can play. It has streams that are going on, it has achievements, and it's kind of cool.
Well, it's kind of like I don't want to say this too loud, but it's kind of like the PS4.
Yeah, I was saying that too.
You scroll that down, and you get all that content, which I think is handy, and I think that's kind of a neat thing. So
yeah.
Speaking of PS4, I almost thought about getting rid of mine.
Oh yeah.
I don't have enough time. I've said it time and time again. I have a lot of AAA content that I'd love to be playing on it. I just have not the desire nor the time to be, and not that it helps that I just got another game, which we'll talk about a little later, but it's one of those things where it's just, I don't know.
I know. Well, it's with that game you got. I looked at it and so I was out, and I'm just like, like I said, I just have other games I want to play right now, and
it's hard. And then I made the commitment today. I canceled Assassin's Creed. I ended up pulling the trigger and canceling it. I think it looks good. I just don't think I have the time, nor the desire to kind of, which we'll talk about this a little later, but. It's just, like I said, time management, and it's just getting tougher and tougher these days. So.
And then For Honor is now running a Halloween event, and I saw they had a short video about it. Basically, I think they added skeletons that you fight instead of normal people. There were werewolves, zombies, and stuff. And it looked like there might be new abilities. I'm not sure about that. It looked fun. I actually started downloading For Honor just to try it out again. But it's running from.
Oh, that's right. You did buy it. See, I didn't buy it. I like the combat and stuff, but I forget what I was playing at the time, and I didn't do it.
Well, I remember we played the beta, and it was fun. But then after the game came out, I just didn't have any desire to really play it.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's kind of the problem I see in some of these games. We get these games, and we're playing them for the first little bit, but then we just can't get our schedules to line up where we're playing them. And they kind of lose that. And if you don't have other people, if it's one thing, like we both got Destiny, we played it a little bit together, and then I had other people that were playing it. But if you don't have those people online playing it, it's hard to jump on there and kind of do some of the content because it gets kind of old. Especially in the end game of Destiny 2, it's just the grind is just so prevalent, and it's kind of monotonous to the point where it just takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, so that event is running from the 19th until November 2nd. There are other Halloween events just to throw out there. The Rocket League Haunted Hallows, Overwatch. I remember they had a big Halloween thing last year. Their terror event in Junkenstein's Revenge. Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, and World of Warcraft all have the Hallows End thing. Elder Scrolls Online has a Witches Festival, and then the Minecraft has their Minecraft Spooktacular.
I think it's good that companies do that. It's kind of just a little extra thing that just kind of makes it kind of like if you they're doing a Halloween event, might make you jump on and play that game again. it's one of those things where, and Blizzard's always good for doing that. Another game that is having a Halloween thing is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh.
They are having Halloween content and new masks and vehicles and a number of different new play modes, and so looks pretty. Once again, free content. So
yep.
Can't frown on that.
Yeah, that was always one of my favorite things about World of Warcraft, where I love their holiday events. They're just
there was one, the Brew
Festival.
Yeah, I remember that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was really. You did those dungeons, and you did the instances, and you got the special brew gear.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, there was a Headless Horseman, too.
I think that was part of the Halloween thing.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
There was a whole big quest, and you could get a costume and a sword. And once again, that's a game that kind of freshens it up on the holidays and adds those things. So, it's kind of like, oh, I want to get this year. Or go for, the different items that they offer. So.
Oh, yeah.
You kept setting that house on fire. Or you had to put it out with
fire.
Yeah.
You had to go get the buckets of water and put it out. Activision, I think it started this patent like a couple years ago, but I think there was just a description released for it or something recently. It's for a system that drives microtransactions in multiplayer video games. And the description specifies that, quote, the system may match a more expert marquee player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make game-related purchases of items possessed by the marquee player. So basically, if you're just starting the game, this system, if they use it, would put you in with people who have, like they were talking about Battlefront 2, and they have those cards that you can use. So if like you're flying around and someone takes you out and shows they have all these gold cards, and then it's like, oh man, I need to buy some cards and they get better. So this system would take you, or like as a potential to use your loadout, like if you're playing Battlefield and you're sniping and you're just starting out, and it would put you against other people with high level sniper gear to try to get you to kind of advertise that gear to you. I
bet you they're already doing that, because that seems like what happens to me. I'm like, I want to get that shit. And then I spend hundreds of dollars and I don't get it. And then I get really mad. No, I'm just saying.
No, honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
But that's a clever marketing ploy. I think it's probably illegal. I don't know. I guess they're not pointing the proverbial gun to your head to get you to purchase those microtransactions. But
they're just being like, here it is. You just have to buy it.
Pretty damn tempting. Yeah.
Activision has said that they're not using this in any of their games yet.
Yeah.
But they would just hold the patent. So, of course, a lot of people were getting kind of upset about it.
Oh, I'm sure. It's a shitty tactic. I mean, you pay X amount of dollars for the game as it is, and if you're able to pay to win, kind of like that is implying, then that's even shittier.
Right.
Typically they try to limit microtransaction to cosmetic items, which is fine. It's still annoying because you can have all the other gear be, and this is all a matter of opinion, but you can have stuff that looks like shit and then have really cool looking items that are behind a paywall. And of course, some people, if you're going to invest, you already invest $60 of your money into the game itself. And if you're going to invest hundreds of hours in it, of course, if you can make your character aesthetically pleasing, you're going to do that. If that means by spending more money, then, they got you by the short hairs on that. So
yeah, for me, the issue lies is if you can only get like guns or something by buying them. If you can unlock them naturally, then I'm not as upset about this system. But like I say, if there's stuff that you can only buy, then that's where I would say it would annoy me.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for customization. I really like just the options and stuff, and I've been guilty of it, like in Destiny. The one time I was buying silver just to try to get a shader,
Yeah.
That's pretty silly, but for me, I was like, just all right, $5 more. I want to get that shader.
Yeah.
And that's kind of I think the kind of the idea that maybe they're using, but it's effective. I mean, I think I've already put in more money in silver than I did into the initial game. So, I'm not happy about it, but I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, you invest money, and I think that's kind of a shady thing, because it's not like it's easy to get some of those items, and if you don't pay to get more, it was kind of like Fortnite with their loot llamas. I mean, you really needed to spend money in order to get ahead and to progress in that, and that was really frustrating because the grind wasn't there. It was a standstill. If you didn't spend money, you literally got to a standstill, and then you lost the desire to play the game.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed like to me that, I mean, of course these are businesses, they want to make money, but it's like they have to find the middle ground where they can make money off the players without making them too upset. I mean, it's like...
Well, and we talk about this game all the time, and this game has found that happy medium, and I really think it's beyond the happy medium, because if you think about Grand Theft Auto is a game that has offered countless DLC content, whether it be vehicles or new content, whatever. You don't have to spend money to make money. You can spend money and kind of get a little bit of instant gratification, but the game doesn't require you. Everything that you can get in that game, you can earn 100%.
Yeah,
if you want to spend money and take a little bit of a shortcut, you can do that, but it doesn't hold it against you. And it's a game that they give you the content for free. They don't force you into that paywall. You know what I mean? You can earn everything that you get. So it's not like you're forced to pay money to get the items to be competitive in that game.
Right.
It's not like that. And it has so much to offer right off the start, where a lot of these games, you get them, and like The Division, I'll use as an example. I love the game, but they added the 2 expansions were more or less game modes that a lot of people felt should have been included with the game. They weren't expansions per se, as they were just new game modes. So people, like, I bought the season pass. I didn't do survival. I haven't played survival once. So for me, that was a waste. The Underground I did, which it was fun, but it was short-lived. It wasn't like it was a DLC that really expanded this. It expanded the story in a little bit of the sense, but it really, all in all, that was a waste of money for that game. And the thing is I think it's becoming that point that some developers kind of do that, kind of take that route and add that additional content after the fact that should have been included with the game, or isn't really worthy of an expansion, And it's funny because at first I was really pleased with Destiny 2. And
I was too.
And the more I got to the end game stuff pretty quick. I grinded pretty hard. And I've been playing it for quite a while, putting a lot of time in on it. But it's really kind of, the end game content isn't there.
Yeah.
And what is there is kind of lackluster. I mean, it doesn't, like the campaign felt like a sequel. The end game stuff does not feel like it's worthy of the Destiny 2 title at all, because a lot of the guns are reskins, and there's just not enough. You can get everything the game has to offer pretty easily, and it doesn't look, there's not a lot to differentiate that kind of stuff, so it's kind of frustrating. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I think we have to get control of it as the gaming community. It has kind of wheeled itself back in a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it was going down a real bad path with like first-person shooters, and that kind of got nipped in the ass. But I think it's still kind of a problem because there's still a lot of this content. Like, a game coming out like Assassin's Creed. I don't think Assassin's Creed should have a season pass. I think that game should have all the content that is available or planned for it. Be part of it. It's not like, you know, like it was okay with like the map packs for like the color or like the first person shooters, which they got kind of out of control because they limited your number of maps.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they knew they had maps in the works or had maps done, and they were just releasing them at a later date. So that's kind of that's why I was saying about getting a wheel on that. But like, the content for Assassin's Creed, that should all be open. It should be there at the beginning. I don't, you know, I don't know. I just think that I think every game, and so many games are coming out with like Ghost Recon, Wildlands had a season pass.
Yeah.
Worthless. You know, we played through the main content, and I didn't play the other two expansions. You know why? Because my character didn't carry over. What the hell do I want to invest all my time into a character, and then, okay, here's a generic one, and you get all these cool weapons that you can't use in the main game. That is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, at least the Division, whenever they introduced those new things, they had new gear that you could get, and that was still usable on your character even if you didn't partake, and you could get it even if you didn't partake in those necessarily particular events. You could still gain that equipment and still gain use of it. So there was that part of it, but like I just don't understand, you know.
Right, and well, like with Fallout 3, they did the one like the Pittsburgh thing and then the Alaskan. They had those DLCs, but you went in with your character and you could get the equipment, do the story, and then come back into the main game.
Yeah, oh yeah, and those were epic. And
those were awesome.
They even like the content for Fallout 3 was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the content for Oblivion. If it was,
they had the two I'm thinking of. There was one. There was the Knights of the Nine. Which was it like? It was,
oh yeah, they had that vampire one.
Oh yeah.
That was a big yeah. They had some cool and we don't get that these days. We do not get that kind of content. I mean, those are two big examples. I mean, Fallout 3 and Oblivion are the quintessential. That stuff was worthy of DLC, and that was an expansion. I mean, those were truly expansions of the game. They expanded the game. There was new gear, there was new content. It was story driven, you know. And I guess you can have content for Assassin's Creed that's story driven, but it's just not on the same scale.
Well, here's the thing with Oblivion: they had the full game, and they release it, and then like a couple years later, they come out and say, okay, we have this separate story we're going to add on. And I'm fine with that. But whenever they announce the game and at day one they're saying, okay, we have this part of the game, and then you can buy this part of the game, then you can buy this part of the game.
Well, it's already pre-planned additional content, where it's like, if you know that you're going to do it,
just put it in.
Just put it in or give it to the people whenever you finish it up.
It's like they're breaking up the game and saying, okay, they can buy this and then this and then this.
Well, and then also, are they using it to, okay, you do a beta, you think the game's good, you release the game, then you have these pre-planned expansions where, okay, we're not going to release them till this time, and then at this time we can implement these changes to tweak the game, you know, to the point where players are going to like it, you know. And
right.
I think, like, there's balancing issues, and I think that you can't wait. You can't wait to balance these games out. You really gotta be on it. You know, especially like a game like Destiny. I mean, it did really well. The initial release was huge. So why not, as soon as you can identify those problems, get to the grindstone and hammer them out and give the public what they want. You know, because it is. I mean, the player base is definitely dropping off. I mean, I can look at my friends list, and there was people that were on all the time and stuff, and that's just dropping like flies.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that's not advantage to you to lose players like that.
No.
Don't you want to give them, or do you only care about okay, I already got your money, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we're done.
That's kind of what it looks like. At least with like the Division, they're still working on it. You know, here it is over a year later, and they're still trying to polish it. And my thing is if they can take all those things that they've done in the Division, and put it into the Division 2, I think it'll do great because
Yeah.
they really are making the changes that needed to be made. So it's like one of those things where, as a developer, if they're growing, if they're really taking that, but like Bungie, kind of, we talked about this last week, they went backwards. They had the Destiny 1, then they made changes after the various expansions, so you would think that some of the things you saw at the end game of Destiny 1 would be right off the start in Destiny 2, but
Yeah.
they didn't. They went back to the old ways, and it's kind of like, okay, well, why did you do that? If you thought that was the way to go and how you left it with Destiny 1, why would you think that to go back to the way that people didn't like was the way to go with Destiny 2? I don't understand these developers, and I guess,
I don't know.
like said time and time again, people that are making a lot more money than me to make these decisions are making these decisions.
Yeah.
So they must have studies and information to justify that kind of move. I don't know.
I don't know. And then, remember the Sheogorath DLC for Oblivion? That was like one of my favorite DLCs of all time. You go in, there's like this little island with the portal on it. You go into the, I forget what he was, the prince of, one of the Daedric princes of something.
Was it a Daedric Prince one?
Yeah.
But
And
didn't they have that different?
Wasn't he like the god of these like crazy shit?
Yeah.
Faces.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I forget what all was involved with that, but I wouldn't mind going back and playing through that again.
I'll tell you what, that's a game that they should do a remaster of. That and Fallout 3.
Yeah.
I mean, Fallout 3, I loved Fallout 3. I mean, I had my town in Megaton.
Yeah.
And, I had it all organized, and I had all my guns in that I used to repairs on my all signature weapons that I had.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was just, and I just loved walking around in it. It was so good, and it didn't feel like you had to collect every single item because you might have to craft something down the road. You had a few items for crafting, and it was a good balance, and I just don't understand what the natural progression was to go to like Super Deluxe Collector and Skyrim and Fallout 4.
I like Skyrim, but as many remastered Skyrims as we get, can we get an Oblivion? That'd be awesome.
Oh, it would be ridiculous. What game did they just came out with that was going to be remastered for the Xbox One?
Morrowind, I think.
No.
Oh, really?
This
Or maybe they count Morrowind for online.
Yeah, they did.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I'll think of it. Just keep
Okay.
going.
Next, I just thought it was a cool thing. They made a transparent LCD side panel for a PC. And I'll pull this up real quick. Make sure we can see that. So the inside they have, oh crap,
Wow.
the inside they have the computer, but then they made, like for this example, they made this look like a little stage area, and then if you go up and play it, they have a thing at first.
No way.
That's just on the side of the PC.
No way.
I just thought that was kind of cool.
Mind blown.
I don't know if I would buy that, but I
Oh
don't know, it's
man,
kind of cool.
Pretty pricey.
Probably.
that'd be pretty kick-ass. That's crazy.
I mean, eventually they're probably gonna have video games that you can play on the side of your computer.
It'll go. I mean, we'll see virtual reality or augmented reality go super mainstream before it's all said and done.
Yeah,
But that was really cool.
that was cool. Punisher, the release date has finally been announced, and it'll be November 17th, the same day as Justice League.
Which one will I watch? Decisions. I'll probably binge watch Punisher.
Oh, I'd still like to see Justice League, but oh man, I can't wait
If
for
you buy
Punisher.
my ticket, I'll go see Justice League, but that's about the only damn way.
I'm excited for both, but I mean, man, if I remember earlier in the year, DC released the Justice League trailer, and there was a little hype for it, but then like immediately after Marvel released the Thor trailer, and it just blew it out of the water. And now we're getting the Justice League time again. They're like, we'll just push Punisher back right to Justice League. I mean, if there are any people that were on the fence about seeing Justice League, I imagine they'll be staying home and watching Punisher now.
Well, the thing is Punisher's on Netflix, and you can watch it anytime.
Yeah,
do you want to watch it immediately? Yes. The problem is I'm going to have a hard time slapping down $10 to see the Justice League. I mean, that's just it's tough. I mean, it doesn't really excite me. I mean,
I'm excited for it. But I just find that hilarious that they did that.
Well, they needed to do at least one or two more origin story movies.
I agree.
Cyborg or Aquaman,
Flash,
or the Flash deserved their own movie. Going in with, you didn't have that in the Marvel. You didn't. You know, you had, all your characters were established. You kind of got their origin stories out of the way.
Yeah.
You know, and okay, here's how they come together. Now you're kind of gonna go in, and if you didn't watch what was the Flash? They brought the Flash from what, Netflix?
He had a TV show, but this is a completely separate.
Oh, it's a new Flash. Oh, well then there goes that. I thought this was the Flash from.
Which I thought.
Yeah. So okay, well then
I didn't like that.
Well, so case in point, you've got 3 new characters that are you going to do? So I could tell you probably a big bulk of that movie is the first part's going to be either an origin story for all 3 of those characters, an origin story for at least 1, and a little bit of backstory for 2, or something of that nature.
Yeah.
But you're going to take too much time out of building the team and kicking ass and taking names because you've got to introduce 3 new characters into the DC universe. Whereas if you'd have done origin movies and not rushed it, you know, No,
I definitely like the Marvel way. I mean, they made the separate movies, which were good movies on their own, and got you to really like the characters. And then it's like, okay, now as a bonus, they get to fight together.
And you had the Superman movies, which you've had 3 Superman. Well, you had the first 2, and then Superman versus Batman.
There was just one Superman.
There was just one.
Man of Steel.
Yeah, in this universe, only one. I mean, they had the other Supermans, but.
Oh, see, I thought that there was 2 Superman movies with that guy.
I know they're gonna have a second Superman, but it hasn't.
Well, okay, so you had one Superman movie where you introduced him. You had Batman versus Superman where you introduced Ben Affleck Batman, and you're not giving him much. That really didn't give a. That didn't even really show what drove Batman. What created him.
Yeah.
This Ben Affleck Batman. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it could surprise me, but I doubt.
I got Baby Driver and watched it last night, and I had high hopes for this movie, and I absolutely loved this movie. I'm not going to spoil anything because I want you guys to watch it, but the big thing is, music is a big thing in this movie because the main character always listens to music because he was in a wreck when he was a kid or something. And they talked about they choreographed each scene, well, not every scene, but a lot of scenes to specific songs. So you can tell as they're just walking along, or if it's a fight scene, the gunshots come on different parts of the song. And it was just a very enjoyable and unique movie. And
so how would you... so looking at it from not a plot point, but like editing and artistic point of view, you're saying it's very strong and that it has a very defined style.
Yeah.
And it carries it through the whole way. Okay, well then that's. I mean, as long as they don't do it like kind of a cliched thing at one point or another. You know what I mean?
The music is very heavy the whole way through.
I mean, I'm gonna bring up a movie, and this movie probably has no. Shouldn't be brought up for referencing this at all, but the Doom movie. They always hyped it because it was going to have this first-person scene or be shot in first person and stuff. But then it ended up just being a little bit that was shot in first person. Yeah. And it really, it really didn't do anything as far as that goes. It was kind of,
No, this didn't feel cliche to me at all.
Okay.
I thought it was very well done, and then had great. I mean, Kevin Spacey and Jamie Foxx were.
I know that had a strong
good.
cast. You know, I mean, I know it had a strong cast, so I'll probably rent that and watch it.
The only negative.
Don't even.
Oh, you don't want me to say
No,
that?
I don't want to hear the negative.
Okay.
Not until I watch it.
Okay, it was
You've got me on the hype train.
Okay.
Don't get me off the hype train, Nick.
We'll talk about it once you watch it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next.
And it
episode.
wasn't anything big, but.
Well, I don't want to hear it.
Okay, Adidas is fighting a trademark request filed by Turner for the E-League logo. And basically the E-League logo is like 3 stripes sideways in the form of an E. Adidas claims that the esports industry is, quote, within the natural zone of expansion of Adidas's business, and that the E-League logo will damage the Adidas brand authenticity. Adidas also claims itself as the brand with 3 stripes, so I guess if you have 3 stripes in your logo,
you're out.
You're out.
Oh, stripes or stripes?
Stripes. 3 stripes and you're out.
All right.
The trademark office only takes issue with similar logos if they are likely to cause confusion. So that's where they're gonna, which I don't see it at all.
It's like there was a dispute between Pandora and PayPal because Pandora switched their icon over to just a P, and it looked very similar to the PayPal P. And I don't know whatever. I don't think anything ever came of it because Pandora hasn't changed it yet. So
right.
But
no, I don't imagine anything will come of this. But.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got South Park, The Fractured Butthole, Tuesday. I was on the fence about it, and then whenever I heard that they were really spoofing the superhero thing, and that was kind of the big drive, and I knew that was part of it, but for some reason I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy it. So I bought it, and I played the Stick of Truth, but I played it on PC, and I probably didn't give it the all I should have, and I'll tell you what, the game plays just like you're watching a show. I mean, just like it. I mean, graphically, they couldn't have had a better transition from one form to the other. It's identical.
Yeah.
I mean, you are playing the show. I mean, so, and that's goes to one of those things where they've embraced the art style of the show, and they're able to do that to the game, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The content. Oh, I've never laughed so hard playing a game. Just, I know they push the envelope on some stuff, but it's also funny because, like, I was doing this one fight, and I was fighting these redneck truckers, and they pull up in their old pickup truck, and it's rusted and muddy, and they park it. Well, it's in the battlefield, and so at one point I used an attack that had knockback, and I knocked the enemy into the truck, and he fall down, and he died from the blow from fall. And I just thought that was so damn funny because it just, I mean, and it looked so good. I mean, like I said, the art style, it floats, and I was just laughing. I'm like, oh my god, that is too funny. Like, I didn't even think of the knockback of him hitting the truck, but that it was a lucky coincidence that he hit the truck and died. And I'm like, oh my god, you know. And it's not like he hits the truck and he doink, and he hits it, it makes a noise like he hit the truck. And I don't know. I'd say I've probably put about 8 hours into it between the past 2 nights. And I really look forward to playing it again tonight. But I mean, if you appreciate the humor in South Park and are an RPG fan, because the RPG elements are pretty cool. It's reminiscent of old school RPGs. It's not overly complicated. It's got kind of a good turn-based system, and then there's modifiers to it, and you're able to experiment with changing classes and stuff, which is also awesome because you're not locked into anything. You can kind of and it's funny because they incorporate everything so well into the gameplay and into the story, because it's like changing your character class feels like it's like you're supposed to do it. It's almost encouraged because of the way it's handled. You talk to Cartman, and he says, "Oh, so you want to talk about your backstory?" And so then and it starts this dialogue, and then you get to choose, which kind of class you want to do again. And so far, I mean, like I said, if you're an RPG fan, I'd recommend it. If you find South Park funny, I would recommend it. If you watch the show, if you watch South Park, if you're a fan of the show, I definitely recommend it because you'll appreciate all the content and the humor. And I think it's done a hell of a job in merging the two, forms of TV and game, and really into a successful, successful game. So.
Is there any lead off from Stick of Truth, or is it?
Yes.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's done so good. I've played games before, but I guess it's just the mixture of the two, the content into the forms that they're able to do it so well, and even in the story. It actually starts at the end of the Stick of Truth.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to give too much away, but it just the flow of it, it's just amazing.
But there's no you won't be lost if you haven't played Stick of Truth.
No.
Okay.
You won't. You'll get the tie-in, and if you played the Stick of Truth, you'll appreciate it. If you didn't, you'll still appreciate it because it makes sense. It doesn't say, oh, at the end of this, it works. It's coherent.
Okay.
So, just really good. It just was surprising, and I could see myself investing a lot of time into this game because there's a huge amount of customization. Like I said, change your roles, and right now I've locked a main class and a subclass, and you can mix and match those however you want. And like I said, they give you so much freedom. And as an RPG, it's really kind of refreshing because you usually don't get that. You're usually kind of locked in one way or another, and this really just lets you do what you want to do with no repercussions. You know what I mean? You're not going to invest in something and then not get to use it. Costumes are purely cosmetic. They have no stats. They've turned that into something else. So even if you change your class, you still and have good gear, that good gear will still work with the new class. It's just it's really well thought out, and I think the delays didn't do anything to hurt it. I really think that if they were tweaking the stuff that they were, then it worked out in the end because it's, like I said, it's really good.
Nice. All right, next we're gonna play another round of the Knockoff Game.
Yay.
Knockoff Game. We really need to get some theme music or something to play in there for that.
Some knockoff music.
Yeah.
That's about as good.
We could get some. I don't know.
I'm thinking of something.
I can't look at the paper. I gotta look over this way.
And Mike can help you out over on the side.
Is it like phone a friend, or is it like ask the audience?
It's both.
Or what's the other one? Or the eliminate
50-50.
Yeah. Well,
There's
it's already
only two.
Oh, good. I'll use 50-50. That's why I would use that on the first one.
Okay, the first one. It's a handheld console called the NE Double Games. It's a knockoff of the Nintendo DS, so the NEDG are Double Games instead of the Nintendo DS. And just a reminder to the audience, if he gets 5 out of 10, he gets the special surprise prize. Surprise.
I'm going to say that it's real.
Correct. And I'll pull up
Starting off strong. I like it.
I'll pull up a picture of the...
Don't go too far.
I'm not.
Don't go too far.
I was going to say fake, so don't listen to
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, see?
There it is. I'll pull that up for the...
Beautiful.
Good thing
NE
it's only...
Double Games.
Is that pounds? Or what currency is that?
I don't know. Or is it euros?
I don't know.
All right. Number 2, the Akari 10,000, a knockoff of the Atari 2600. Obviously better because it's 10,000.
Well, see, the last time I commented on you going true, false, which you didn't. You kind of had a pattern, but you kind of didn't. So I don't know if you kept that in mind this time. So I don't think it sounds real, but for the sake of you not going in a pattern, I'm going to say it's true.
True. That was false.
Damn you and your
I was
patterns.
gonna say one day I have trouble using Atari.
No, it was Akari.
Akari.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, I would have been right. Anyway. Alright, sorry.
All right, number 3. It is the game Doggenstein, a knockoff of Wolfenstein. Doggenstein.
Mike?
What are you feeling on this one?
I'm gonna say false myself, but I'll let you make the final decision.
That's what
I was wrong the last one.
I know. I'm gonna go with Mike on this one. False.
That was false. I made that up.
All right.
So you're 2 for 3.
All right. I can take the pass.
Number 4, the Nintendo Polystation. It's a combination of a Nintendo and PlayStation console. The Nintendo Polystation.
And it is Nintendo spelled the same way as it is in real life.
Yes.
Now, because you have this on this thing, I thought there was a collaboration at one point that was going to be between Nintendo and PlayStation, but I don't think it was called the Polystation. What do you think on that, Mike? What are your feelings?
I guess these are. So I've seen people where they make consoles that'll play both Xbox and, but they're kind of more homemade. They're not like.
They're not sold. Yeah. I'm gonna say this is true.
Correct. Oh, that's a Super Mario's game. There it is, the Nintendo Polystation
Digital
digital
stereo.
stereo. Built-in programs, and even has like a.
And is it made by Namco?
It says Namco.
Oh man!
And it has like a PlayStation type logo, but it says Polystation.
And it has the Nintendo sort of logo.
Yeah, and it has like a console and a controller and a
The
gun.
console looks like the PlayStation one.
Yeah.
The controller does too, but the gun looks like a 9.
A real gun.
Yeah, put a Luger 9mm included with every console.
So have you gotten 3 so far?
Yeah, I'm on
Wow.
fire. Look out. My price is as good as mine. I've just jinxed myself.
Number 5, Block Construction Simulator. It's a knockoff of Minecraft, but it's a block construction simulator.
Oh, I say true on that because that doesn't surprise me that they would have something like that.
I made that up.
Bastard. I hate this game. This game's rotten.
So
You would have said no?
I would have said no.
Really?
So we have 5 left. You get 2 of the next 5. Number 6 is the Mini Polystation 3, a knockoff of the PS3.
Well, if I only have to get 2, I'm going to say true to all of them. I have to at least get 2.
Hey,
True.
that's true.
All right.
That's not a bad
Come on,
strategy.
logic!
Here's like a Grand Theft Auto game I didn't put in because I'm not.
Sounds like the same company, Namco.
Game Theory Admiral, which I didn't put in because some of these look kind of fake, but.
Whoa, we'll scroll back up.
Let's go back up.
Rapid
Reload.
Metal Slug 2 Rapid Reload. It has Cloud Strife with Barrett's hand on him. Nice. And Red 13 in the background. Wow. Wow. No shame in that game.
Sonic Adventure 8. I didn't even remember.
See, I think that could have been real.
That's what I was saying.
I mean, that would have been real on a real level, not on a
Yeah.
real fake level.
There it is, the Mini Polystation 3.
What's that?
It's like a
This is
built-in
soccer.
display.
This is soccer. Oh, shit. People are idiots.
That's what I mean with the Adidas story. Like, where are all the trademark regulations here? Like,
Well, no one's going to go after them because it's a third world country.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can't squeeze a blood for rock, you know. God only knows how. That's probably made out of styrofoam and recycled Coke cans, you know. You might open up that lid and it says Domino's on the inside. For all you,
One chip inside.
yeah, and it might be a tortilla.
Oh. Tortilla.
And not even a Tostitos either.
1 gigabit tortilla chip.
Where's my nacho port?
Oh. All right, you're looking pretty good.
I feel pretty good.
Number 7, Ultra Dario, a knockoff of Super Mario.
Oh, I say
Ultra
that's
Dario.
true. I like Dario. I'm gonna say true.
That's true.
All right, I win.
You win.
Game over.
Ultra Dario.
I like Dario. Look at him. What's not to love? I like him better than Mario.
Yeah,
Look at Dario. He's a hell of a.
he has like a beard though, and he doesn't have a hat.
He's older.
He's old.
Yeah. He's
that's-
like the homeless version of Mario.
That's Mario's dad.
Ultra Dario. The drunk bum. Shut up, you stupid mushroom.
He maybe just wobbled around the screen.
No jump button.
He can't jump.
He just falls over. All right, let's go.
All right. Well, yeah. For fun, we'll just do the
The
rest.
bonus round. All right.
Number 8, Space Ring. It's a knockoff of Halo. Space Ring.
I'm going to say
The
that's
game.
false.
That's false.
You didn't give enough zing.
I'm slacking on.
Like, yeah.
Space Ring.
Yeah, it's like the Spaceballs version of Halo.
Yeah.
Darth Helmet, and you get Master Chef instead of Master
That's a
Chief.
chef. Well, that's a knockoff of another show.
Yeah.
All right. Number 9, Dreamcast. It's a knockoff of the Dreamcast.
What is it?
Dreamcast.
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 That's stupid enough. I think that's true.
That's true. There it is.
Oh, man.
Dreamcast.
Bastards. The Dreamcast was probably one of the best underrated consoles no one ever played.
Yeah, I never played it.
Oh, it was really good. I'm sad that that's what Sega went out on, because that had a lot of strong games. I mean, and I'm talking a lot of strong games. They had Shenmue, which was an awesome game. They had Skies of Arcadia, which was an awesome game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought out Skies of Arcadia, I think, for the Nintendo.
Well,
That was a wise move.
Sega Genesis, and that was huge. And then what happened between that was this the successor to Dreamcast?
No.
To
There was the Sega Saturn,
oh, was this successor to the Saturn?
I think.
I shouldn't even start.
That's a tongue twister.
What's that? All right, let's go. Number 10.
Number 10.
False.
The game is Sir Eats a Lot. It's a knockoff of Pac-Man.
I'm going to say, Mike's sitting right there. Oh,
My personal opinion,
it's false.
That's false.
like,
Sir Eats a Lot.
Sir Eats a Lot. All right, give me my prize.
I'll go get the prize.
hold on.
I'm a winner.
I've been waiting to give this to you
All right.
Weeks and weeks.
for weeks and weeks.
It's like Vanna White. You're going to
We'll reveal it.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Here, wait. Let me,
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, I see part of it. Oh, I see the back of it.
Click, put us on full screen, the stream scene right there. And we'll do it.
What?
Yeah, right there, stream at the top.
Oh, all right.
And your prize.
If it's a Justice League head, I'm going to be really upset.
A cutout of Batfleck.
Oh, shit! How did I know? Damn it. Good thing he's got a hole right there, because I will be stabbing him with a knife. Yeah, on a nightly basis.
There you go. You can put that up in your room.
I'm Batman. I'm going to put this up in the pisser. So I can aim at his face. Take that, Affleck. I'm going to piss on your face. Wow. I wish I would have lost now. Can I go back and change my answers?
Nope. It's yours now.
Damn it.
All right. Well, that's our show for this week. Thanks for watching or listening. If you want to catch our other stuff, you can check our YouTube channel or SoundCloud if you just want to listen to it on the go. And this is Nick and Batfleck.
I'm Batman. Not. Where's Aquaman? He's my buddy.
Oh, no.
I need Aquaman. I'm dehydrated. I need a drink of salt water. Ben Fleck.
We'll see you next time.